Hey there guys, Dorkman here, and welcome to a new series I'm reviewing, Fire Brigade of Flames. I usually get fire and flames messed up or whatever. Basically, the reason I'm doing like a review on it is because it's a series I've kind of fallen in love with. I think it's a great series, and I don't think that there are enough people out there reviewing it, so I thought, hey, I would. But there's also comes a problem with this is that last week a chapter didn't get released, and this week 2 chapters got released, which I'm already behind on Dragon Ball Super and Ruby, the manga, not the show. I might make a separate video on what I'm doing with the show, but yeah. And then this week 2 chapters came out, which I don't know if that's the translator's fault for they don't have to do it, but I don't know if because the translators didn't translate it and then put it up until yesterday, or if 2 chapters were just released today for some reason. I mean, yesterday for some reason. I'm doing this a day after they were released. Yeah, I don't know. But basically, what I think so far is Maki is a great waifu, just the best of 2015, probably 2016 too. Shinra's brother is either a conscious flame person, like a flame person that has their consciousness, or someone just kidnapped him to do experiments on it, or Shinra's somehow a conscious flame person that turned back into a person, transformed into a flame person, and then not a conscious flame person, but a flame person that went out of control, burned the house down, and then turned back. And that's probably just what he's not being told by the first brigade. And then fan service is great. The 5th Brigade guys are all dicks that need to go die. I think we've covered all of it. Oh wait, I wanted the newcomers tournament to continue a bit longer, and I felt like they should have done 1 or 2 more missions before they did the tournament. Just because, I don't know, it's kind of the same thing with Naruto, where they did 1 mission and then did the tuning exams. It's just kind of that whole thing. Then again, this is an annual thing that they kind of have to do. I just kind of feel 1 or 2 more missions just should have been put in to show off more of what the current characters that we had could do before they introduced a bunch of other ones, which they didn't really introduce that many. They introduced the potential for more. That's what it got done. Because I always burp whenever I record. And actually, to the video, to the chapter, which is chapter 17, which is Shinra V.S Hibana. Kind of a lie until the very end. Which starts with a cool, I'll just put it up. But it's a pretty awesome outfit. He kind of looks when I see it, I think sailor, vampire. I don't know why, I just do. And then the chapter starts with the 5th Angel 3, 5th Angel 3, 3-on-3, triple cutter slasher version 2.3. And she messes with it. Maki says too many numbers and just decks her once and takes her out. But they kind of talk about how she's taken out 10 of them already when there were only supposed to be 3 of them, which, yeah, is what it should be. And they're well, there shouldn't be any more. And you see one just hiding way far, just holding herself, just sweating and just being super scared. And saying well, I guess we're good, and we should go help Shinra, help hold people off for Shinra. And Shinra gets to the mansion and thinking man, a mansion this big is perfect for her personality. Just being thinking she's way too big, way too good for other people. And he comes in, just kind of yelling pardon me, I'm here to destroy you all. And he's thinking he can win. He thinks he can win this fight. It's a good chance to test himself out against the commander. But he thinks that the only way he will win, which obviously is if he can get around her ability, which if you don't remember is the ability, she just kind of looked at him and he just collapsed and couldn't move. Well, until he spiral flame kicked out of it. And he hears a please stop sister, and he oh well, that's sister's voice, so I'll just jump up there. That's when the three angels jump out, which, when I think about this is, I think that those are the original three angels. I have actually two theories on this. That those are the original three angels, and they somehow have the ability to like make copies of themselves, which I don't really understand how they could do with fire, unless it's like a whole illusion thing, and those are like different people just being illusions, like from like, you know, like smoke and mirrors, that whole thing. Or all of the angels are just like things that were made by the 5th Brigade. I think that's what it is. Because there should only be 3 people that look exactly the same, but Maki took out 10. We don't know if, I'm just gonna, Glass's guns, and we don't know if he took any out. Probably did. And then there are these 3, so it's either some type of cloning ability that they have, or all of them were made by the 5th Brigade. But he just takes all 3 of them out in one kick, like all 3 of them out with a single kick. One kick only, not like one kick to each of them, just one fire kick. And they're all out. And it's goes to Hibana and the sister. The sister? I'm pretty sure sisters are like nameless. She hasn't given anything other than sister. It's weird. And she's just kind of like talking about like, this world's kind of separated into 2 people. Those who burn and those who get burned. And she says, due to the abilities of being awakened with 3rd generation abilities, which kind of answers the question I've had, which is, does it depend on where you're born, or do these powers awaken? Because what I thought was, it's where you're born, because Shinra and Arthur and all those people at the tournament were all 3rd generation fire users, but they were all kids, so it was like, okay, it's like there's the grandparents, 1st generation users, like those guys as kids, 2nd generation, and then the next generation down for 3rd generation. That's what I thought it was. And sister just kind of starts sounding like, no, you're wrong. And she just kind of goes to punch her when Shin just bursts into the room and says that the hero's on the scene. And he's kind of just said like it won't go on like last time, and she just kind of calls him worm. And he starts like going forward, like he lights his heel on fire. He's like getting ready to fight when she activates her ability, and he just collapses. She's saying like, you're down again, and that was pretty fast. Man, some hero you are. She just comes over and starts like stepping on him. And he's just kind of like saying like, what is this? Like, what is your power? And like, the only reason I can see that she's explaining this is because she feels like 100% chance that she will win this fight. Because other than that, I don't understand why she would explain it other than the author, I forgot his name, it's like Okubo, Atiyashi Okubo, whatever. I think that's it. Yeah. I'll put it up here. It's either that or he just couldn't really think of another way to show or tell what her powers were. And he's just kind of like, heat, and she says that her power is heat, and Kopi. You know, this is, from the next page, just looks like it's going to be pretty sciencey. I think I know someone who's a little bit better than that, considering the fact that he's a doctor. So let me just try back. Okay, so basically, my title's all backwards, I know. It's just that I hate doing this tie, so... And he kind of just burst into the bathroom with me and forced me out here against my will. So, I'm just going to quickly explain this and then leave. Heat syncope. It's heat syncope. When I was learning what this is, there are 2 ways that this can be translated, like syncope or syncope. That's how, those are 2 ways that it can be pronounced. My typing backwards, like, really annoying. Like, I normally wear it, but it's like, I lose and I get like messed up and like forced out here really fast. I just had to tighten it. And basically, how she's explaining that her powers works is, I basically just heat up your body, open up all your blood vessels, and force it, like, increase the blood pressure. She says it's increasing, no, lowering your blood pressure. So she lowers your I can talk about as well as the other guy. It lowers your blood pressure from your brain, making it so you get dizzy. And like what syncope does is basically loss of consciousness through heat. So this is basically like, if she can go further than this, because it's not really syncope unless she can go further and cause him to go unconscious. That's basically what that is. So chances are she can, and she's just choosing not to knock him out. Chances are that's what it is. And so I'm just gonna go now. Hey, so we're back. He's a weird guy. He reads some weird dictionary, like he was reading like the Chinese dictionary when I pulled it. He's a weirdo. So he's basically just saying, oh, okay, if I am just getting dizzy, well then it's kind of just my imagination. And from how Doc explained it, it doesn't seem like it's imagination, considering the fact that it's decreasing your blood pressure. I don't think that... I hate recording in my garage, it's like the only place. But like, I don't think having your blood pressure lower is just your imagination. And she kind of responds this way, but he gets up, is just like looking at her with like a big old cheesy smile, and like his eyes just like look dead. And she's just kind of like saying like, you're just acting tough. This is not imagination. And he's just saying the dizziness is just an imagination. So with my imagination, I can become a hero too. And she just kind of says like, no, stop being stupid. This isn't imagination. Your body should not be moving right now. Your blood pressure is incredibly low. But he's just kind of continuing to say like the same stuff. So she pulls out a fan, and she activates another ability, which I don't know if like the heat syncope is, I don't know if that's like her only ability, like if that's something that only she can do, or if it's something that everyone can do, because from this, it looks like she also has like clematis, which is like fire flowers basically just like burst from her fan, and it looks like that should be her power, but she also did the heat syncope thing. So maybe everyone can do the heat syncope thing, or maybe it's just like the perks of being like a third generation, that she kind of like can manipulate it to a higher degree with more training. Like it's something that like all third generations could do if they learned how to use their fire better. Basically, that's what I get from it, at least. And she just kind of says, I don't really like fighting opponents who can't move, but I will anyways. And he says, and Shinra is kind of just saying, like, because her, I am just, like, out of it today. As if I'm not out of it every day. Sister just kind of says, like, sister, why do you still... And she just says, like, shove and watch. And Shinra just kind of, like, looks over at sister, just kind of like, what's happening right here? Because, like, there's, like, the shuffle ellipse. And then he kind of, like, looks back at Honeybee, whatever her name is. The other big boob lady, except they're not really enough. We're all good. It's just people walking by. You know, retrospectively, our garage is not the best recording studio, but it's also the only room in the house to use. It's back to So back to the chapter, he's just kind of like telling her that she's like the one imagining things now. And he says, yes, tonight I'm the deluded sister eye-opening man. Because if you guys remember last chapter, I think he said like, I'm the sister saving, kicking your A man, something like that, like something along the lines of that. And he like gets down, and like he lights on fire. But, like the fire also looks like forms like three sides, which this guy is like the author of Soul Eater mangaka, or whatever you want to call it. So he knows how to draw sides, and that's just kind of what it looks like. It looks like fire sides. So yeah, pretty cool way to end the chapter. So, and it says like down at the bottom, like, oh, next chapter, finally the clash actually begins. So when it's called Shinra V.S Hibana, oh Hibana, that's her name. That just kind of came back to me. That's weird. It really isn't. It should be called like Shinra, like Heat Syncope. Like I think that would be a better title, just because. And the next chapter should be Shinra V.S Hibana, because next chapter actually is. But yeah, I feel like this was a good chapter. We actually learned what her ability is. I kind of thought it was going to be like something that was kept like how she does it secret for a long time. But no, like it gets revealed like soon after, which I kind of like more. But yeah, like I don't know why she's hallucinating. It could be that if she uses it on someone, it could start affecting her. Because it seems like she used it on for a while because he's like all down and then he gets back up. And it could be that she's still using on him, which could cause her to start hallucinating too. Because she's just like emitting a ton of heat. And or either that or Shinra or someone else. I don't think it's that. No, it's not Shinra. Either someone like an outside force, like someone watching the fight, is doing it to her now. If it is something that other people can do, at least. If it is something that other people can do. And yeah, that's basically what I think. Next time, which is probably going to be a couple days from now, because I do not want to get behind anymore. I want to get all caught up. So I'm going to review 2 more things after this. I sound like I'm hating this, but the only reason I'm hating this is because I don't have that much time. But I just kind of fell behind. So after I review the next 2 things, I'm going to be all caught up except for the other Fire Brigade Flame chapter. And then yeah, all good, all caught up until the next chapter comes out and I don't review it for another month. So yeah, see you guys next time. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. 魂の火が胸を刺すな